Welcome to Real Truth, Real Quick, episode number 1. My name is Rick Smith. I'm the Director of Digital Ministries here at Watermark Community Church, and I'm here with our Senior Pastor, Todd Wagner. Real Truth, Real Quick, we answer your biblically based questions on life, leadership, and the world around us. And so the very first question is this, Todd, what is Real Truth, Real Quick?
Yeah, well, they're questions that come from anybody, not just biblical questions, but society questions, secular questions. What Real Truth, Real Quick is a podcast that people never thought a guy like me would be a part of. When we talk about God's Word here on Sunday mornings, we don't do it real quick. We take lots of time. I mean, 40, 50, 55 minutes some Sundays, up to an hour. And so what we really want to do is put together a resource that would be like a hot sheet that people could go, you know what? I want to get some talking points. I want to get some basic, quick, insightful truth, real quick. The real truth piece means they're not going to hear Todd's truth real quick. You know, I tell people all the time, in fact, my Twitter handle at Words from Wags is simply this. It says, if anyone regards me, let it be as a servant of Christ and as a steward of the mystery of God. So my answers are not going to be Todd's take. My answers are going to be my trying to serve folks by giving them a biblical, theologically informed perspective on life, leadership, and the world we live in.
That's great. When I told people we were going to do this podcast, if you know Todd, to get him to do this in 5 minutes is a miracle. And so 5 minutes, we have a timer here that you can't see, 5 minutes. So that's the deal, 5 minutes or less. We invite you to subscribe to this podcast. There's a button below. You can subscribe. In the comments below, you can leave comments with the questions that you want us to answer because you are writing this podcast. And so you can actually email questions at realtruthrealquick.com. Any question you have about the Bible, life, culture, anything else, Todd, that you want to add?
Well, yeah, I mean, basically, I'll tell you what my prayer is for this little podcast. And in John 17:7-8, the very end of Christ's life, when he was on his knees in Gethsemane, he just basically said this. He said, the word which you have given to me, they have come to know, is from you. Basically, what he's trying to say is, everything you have given me, Lord, I've given to them. And that really is my prayer, that folks would know that the things that I say are from Christ, are from God, from his word, and that they would come to know that they are reliable and worth listening to. So I think our heart in this whole thing is to understand that there's a way that seems right to man, but in the end, it's the way of death. We want people to be Bereans. When they listen to this stuff, you know, be noble-minded and listen to it objectively, and then study God's word to see if it is so. And because it's God's word, even hold it up to I would call it the test of reality. Does this fit? Is it congruent with the world that I really live in? So we're not going to give nickel answers to million-dollar questions, but we're going to get them started with a biblically informed worldview, a biblically informed perspective on topics that they're talking about at their office, with their neighbors, with their kids, that they're asking themselves, that commentators on the news are asking. And so we want your questions. We want to hear from you. You guys got to fire them at us and say, hey, speak to this. And so it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely right. Like Todd said, in the blog post that goes with each of these podcasts, you're going to have additional resources, different links to books and resources that Todd may mention in the questions. And so we highly encourage you to also not just check out the podcast, but look at the blog and the show notes that go with each podcast. We're running out of time right now.
Oh, man, we got a minute and a half left.
Whoa.
And so here's what you need to know, all right? Look, here's the thing. Real truth, real quick. And what I would say is if it ain't in the word, you forget what you heard. Come with us, get this take, use this as a starting point, jump on to other resources, as you said, Rick, okay? But just know this is the place that you can come to get a biblical take on questions about leadership, life, and the world you live in.
Exactly. Well, check it out, subscribe to our podcast, and we will see you next week with a brand new episode of Real Truth, Real Quick, where we will answer our very first question.